When we started doing this one simple thing in our marriage, our communication got better, our conflict decreased, our intimacy grew, and we just started having more fun together. And I want that for you too. I want your marriage to thrive. And the best part is you can start doing this no matter how long you've been married and no matter what phase of life you're in. In this video, I'll not only share what we started doing every week to improve our marriage, but I'll also share with you 3 practical tips on how to make it happen in your marriage. Now, we've been married for almost 12 years now, and after being married for a few years and 2 kids later, we found that our marriage was fine. You know, it wasn't thriving, it wasn't amazing, but it was good. There wasn't anything wrong necessarily. We weren't struggling, and if that is you, I highly encourage you to go seek counseling because you are worth it and your marriage is worth it. And if you're not sure where to go, I recommend reaching out to your local church, and I'm sure they would be happy to direct you. So our marriage was fine, like I said. And you know, we're just trying to tackle everything day by day. You know, both of us had full-time jobs, we had 2 kids, we had homework, we had all other demands of life. All good things. But we just weren't able to find the time to give our marriage the attention it needed, like date nights, for example. We would go out on occasional date nights, like we would go out for Valentine's Day and our anniversary, but it just didn't feel like enough, like we still weren't connecting. Have you ever felt that way in your marriage where you get so caught up in the day-to-day tasks that you forget to spend time connecting with your spouse? Well, for us, we were so busy in our day that by the time evening came, we were so drained that we just sat in front of the TV and while scrolling on our phones. Sound familiar? God revealed through multiple sources that we needed to do one simple thing, and that was a weekly date. Now, I said simple, not easy. And I'm not talking about hiring a babysitter, going out to do dinner and a movie every Friday night, although that would be nice. I'm talking about a date, which is an enjoyable experience that you are intentionally making time to spend together. It doesn't have to be at night. It doesn't have to be fancy or super romantic. It doesn't have to be outside the house. It just has to be time, uninterrupted, and just about the 2 of you. Sounds hard, right? Especially if you have kids whose schedules kind of run your life, or if you're a full-time job, or you're taking care of your aging parents. All these things are a part of life. So how do you find time for your spouse? Well, for us, we needed to start simple. We needed to start at home. So we chose a night during the week where we both were home and we had our date night. We would we made a meal or something like that, special meal, and we would eat it and enjoy it sometimes while the kids were still awake. And then when they went to bed, we did something together. Maybe we built a puzzle. Maybe we played a game. Maybe we played a short game because we were so tired. Or maybe we watched a movie. Something so simple. Those 3 things are so simple and require very little planning. But we didn't just want to do those options. We wanted to do more. So we started researching different ways to where we could really enjoy a date night that wasn't as typical, but we still had fun. Like learning something new on YouTube, like how to draw a character or how to cook a fancy meal. You know, there are a number of dates that you can do at home after the kids go to bed that are all about spending time together. And let's say you wanted to do a date outside of the house. Awesome, great, yay, date night. But you can't afford to hire a babysitter because babysitters are expensive. Awesome, it's great to have a babysitter, but they can be expensive. So how do you go out on already pricey date without hiring a babysitter? Well, I recommend talking to your family or friends and asking if they would mind watching your kids for once a month or less than that if you can alternate different months. If you're like me, it is really hard to ask for help. You feel like you're taking advantage of someone if you ask them to watch your kids for free. I get that. That was how I felt. But as I thought about it and as God revealed to me that it isn't about asking them to do you a favor. Although you are, but that's not what it's about. If they were to watch your kids for you while you and your spouse go on a date, it has 2 very important benefits. 1, your marriage is strengthened by them watching your kids. And the second benefit is that they get to have an influence in your kids' lives. It is so important for your kids to have other adult voices in their lives to help shape them into the adults that they will one day be. It takes a village, right? So you're not just asking them to do you a favor, you are inviting them into your family life to be a voice in your kids' life so they can get to know your kids better and your kids can get to know them better. And if they have other kids, even better. So your kids can have friends to play with. And you can even switch off and you watch their kids for once a month. It's a great way to leverage the resources God has given you. Maybe you're thinking, we don't have a time for dates. Our schedules conflict, we're just so busy all the time, we're completely drained. And I hear you, this isn't meant to add one more thing on your to-do list in a week. It's meant to give you something to look forward to enjoy having fun with your best friend, essentially is what it is. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be at night. It can be a lunch date where if one of you has the day off and the other doesn't, the day off spouse can visit the working spouse at lunch and you can go enjoy that date together. Or you can choose a night in the middle of the week because you know you both will be home. It may not be a very long date, but at least it's something to help you guys connect. And that's really what this is about. It's about connecting with your spouse and making time for that. Speaking of making time for that, let's talk about 3 practical tips that you can do to make a weekly date actually happen. Tip number 1 is probably the most obvious. You need to schedule it. And if you don't write it down or add it to your calendar in some capacity, it's less likely to happen. So get with your spouse, talk about your schedules, and determine which day and time of the week will work best for you to have a date. How long does it need to be? Well, that's entirely up to you. Of course, the more time you have together, the more opportunity you have to connect. But if one week you're only able to spend like 30 minutes together and another week you're able to actually go out and enjoy time together for a few hours, awesome. Do what you gotta do. It's important to be flexible, but also schedule it. Make it happen. And tip number 2 is to switch off planning it. Now, this is actually part of the fun of it, right? When you each get a turn planning a date night, you both invest in the experience and you'll enjoy it more. So you could plan a charcuterie board where you enjoy meat and cheese and play Would You Rather. Or you can hook up that old Nintendo and play video games for your date. It doesn't have to be fancy or overly romantic, just have fun together. My husband and I, we love to plan dream vacations together. And when you're dreaming together, it really helps you guys connect. And the third tip to making this happen is make it about the two of you. That means conversations about kids and finances and schedules, leave that for another time. Put away your phones unless they have to do with the date activity and make it about the two of you. Enjoy your time with your best friend, the one you married. Now, even though we have weekly dates, our marriage is not perfect. Not every day is amazing or romantic. And sometimes seasons prevent us from actually having those dates. And that's okay because we'll come back to it because we know how important it is to stay connected. And for our marriage to go stronger, we need to be spending time together. And that's what I want for you too. Spending time with your spouse is the most important thing for your marriage. And it's a great example for your kids as well. So for more date tips and ideas about dating your spouse, subscribe to this channel. I have a lot more coming. For now, you can check out our date video here where we go bowling. And I also have Disney videos to help you and your family have a magical vacation. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.